Top 3 plant-based proteins that soothe arthritis pain and inflammation naturally. Have you ever thought that arthritis pain could disappear without relying on any pills? Stop for a moment and consider this. What if I told you the secret to easing joint pain and reducing inflammation could be found right in your own kitchen? You've probably tried countless medications and treatments, yet the relief you're looking for still seems out of reach. But here's the truth that most people don't talk about. The food you eat can have a huge impact on how you feel every single day. Arthritis isn't just painful, it's exhausting. The aching joints, the stiffness that greets you in the morning, the pain that prevents you from doing the little things you once loved, it's draining. If you've been told to simply live with it, I want you to know that there's more you can do. You can fight back. Today, I'm going to introduce you to 3 powerful plant-based proteins that not only help reduce inflammation, but are also proven to support your joints, reduce swelling, and help you feel stronger and healthier. These aren't magic pills or expensive products. They're simple, affordable foods that you might already have in your kitchen. And don't miss the 3rd food I'll reveal. It's something we often overlook, but it could be the key you've been searching for to naturally soothe pain and restore joint function. Stick around until the end, because this food will surely surprise you. If you find this information helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future health tips and natural remedies. Leave a comment below to share your thoughts or ask any questions. I'm eager to hear your experiences and will try my best to respond to every comment. Number 1. Lentils, an essential ally in the diet for arthritis relief. When it comes to managing arthritis pain and improving joint health, many people immediately think of popping pills or relying on expensive treatments. However, what most people don't realize is that one of the most effective solutions is sitting right in your kitchen. Lentils, a humble food that offers tremendous support for those dealing with arthritis. Although lentils might not immediately capture your attention as a go-to food in your daily meals, they are packed with nutrients that play a key role in alleviating joint pain and reducing inflammation. Not only do they provide an excellent source of plant-based protein, but they also contain several vital nutrients that help reduce inflammation, support your joints, and leave your body feeling healthier day by day. First and foremost, lentils are an outstanding source of plant-based protein. Protein is essential for building and repairing tissues in your body, particularly muscles, which help support your joints. Healthy muscles reduce the strain on your joints, easing pain when you move. However, protein from animal sources like red meat can actually increase inflammation in the body, something we definitely want to avoid when dealing with joint issues. Lentils, on the other hand, provide all the protein you need without making your symptoms worse. In fact, they help reduce inflammation and improve joint function, making them an ideal choice for arthritis sufferers. In addition to protein, lentils are also an excellent source of magnesium. Magnesium is a mineral that many people, particularly older adults, are often deficient in. It plays a vital role in helping the body reduce inflammation. Think of magnesium as your body's natural muscle relaxant. It helps soothe the tension and stiffness around your joints, easing pain, and even helping alleviate nerve pain in some cases. If you've ever woken up with stiff joints that no amount of stretching can seem to loosen, magnesium might be the key nutrient you're missing. Beyond magnesium, lentils are also rich in potassium, a mineral often overlooked when thinking about arthritis. Potassium helps your body eliminate excess sodium, which can lead to water retention, swelling, and increased inflammation in your joints, especially from processed foods. By eating lentils, you're helping your body flush out that excess salt, naturally reducing swelling. Less swelling means less pain, which is a simple yet effective way to feel more comfortable. Lentils are also high in fiber, which plays a significant role in managing arthritis. When we consume foods with high glycemic indexes like processed foods, our blood sugar spikes. This leads to the release of inflammatory chemicals that worsen joint pain. Fiber helps slow down the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream, keeping blood sugar levels stable and minimizing those inflammatory spikes. By including lentils in your diet, you're not only helping regulate your energy levels, but also protecting your joints from pain caused by inflammation. Another important nutrient found in lentils is folate, or vitamin B9. Folate helps reduce levels of homocysteine, an amino acid in the blood that, when elevated, has been linked to increased inflammation and joint pain. Lentils are an excellent source of folate, so regularly consuming them helps maintain healthy homocysteine levels, reducing the risk of inflammation and providing a natural defense for your joints. Now, you might be wondering how to incorporate lentils into your diet. The great news is that lentils are incredibly versatile and easy to work with. Even if you're not fond of spending much time in the kitchen, you can easily add them to soups, stews, or curries for a hearty and satisfying meal. You can also toss them into a salad with fresh vegetables and olive oil, or use them as a filling for tacos, veggie burgers, or wraps. The best part? Unlike many other beans, lentils don't need to be soaked overnight, so they're perfect for quick meals. Simply rinse them, bring them to a boil, and simmer for 20 to 30 minutes. Done. They're gentle on your stomach too, with no bloating or discomfort after eating, which is ideal for those who have sensitive digestion. To enhance the anti-inflammatory benefits of lentils, try pairing them with other healthy foods like spinach, kale, turmeric, black pepper, or a little lemon juice. These foods not only add extra nutrients to your meal, but also work together to support joint health and reduce inflammation. Changing your diet doesn't have to be a complicated task. You don't need to overhaul your entire eating habits overnight. Just start by incorporating lentils into your meals a few times a week. It's a low-cost, high-impact step toward feeling better. And honestly, sometimes it's the simple, often overlooked foods that do the most good. So, the next time you're at the grocery store, don't skip over the lentils. Pick up a bag and experiment with new recipes. See how your body responds. Adding lentils to your diet could be the simple, yet powerful solution you've been looking for to manage arthritis naturally. With no need for expensive medications or health products, lentils offer a cost-effective, easy-to-prepare alternative that can make a real difference in your joint health and overall well-being. Number 2. Chickpeas, a small legume with big benefits for arthritis relief. When it comes to managing arthritis, many people turn to medications or expensive treatments. However, what if the solution to easing arthritis symptoms is as simple as adding a few humble ingredients to your diet? Chickpeas, a small but mighty legume, can play a significant role in reducing inflammation, alleviating pain, and supporting joint health, making them an invaluable part of any arthritis-friendly diet. Chickpeas, often recognized for their role in hummus or added to salads, have far more to offer than just a garnish or trendy food. These tiny legumes are packed with essential nutrients that can directly impact the inflammation and pain caused by arthritis. Whether you're dealing with stiffness, swelling, or pain, chickpeas can offer a natural, plant-based way to feel better and improve your overall joint health. The primary benefit of chickpeas lies in their high protein content. Protein is crucial for the body, especially for repairing and maintaining muscle tissue. Strong muscles help support your joints and reduce the pressure on them, easing pain and improving mobility. When arthritis affects your joints, supporting your muscles with plant-based protein is essential. While animal-based protein sources like red meat can contribute to inflammation, chickpeas offer a clean, anti-inflammatory protein source. They help repair and strengthen muscles without worsening arthritis symptoms, making them a perfect fit for anyone managing joint pain. In addition to protein, chickpeas are rich in polyphenols. These natural antioxidants help combat oxidative stress, which occurs when free radicals damage cells and increase inflammation in the body. Arthritis sufferers are particularly vulnerable to oxidative stress, and over time, this stress can worsen symptoms. By eating chickpeas, you're giving your body the protection it needs from free radical damage, which reduces inflammation and offers relief from painful flare-ups. Chickpeas act as a shield for your joints, helping to keep inflammation in check and improve mobility. Chickpeas are also packed with vitamin C, which is essential for collagen production. Collagen is the connective tissue that cushions joints and enables smooth movement. Without adequate collagen, joints can become stiff, sore, and painful. Vitamin C from chickpeas helps your body produce the collagen it needs, ensuring that your joints stay flexible and pain-free. This means chickpeas don't just mask arthritis symptoms, they contribute to rebuilding and repairing joint tissues, allowing for smoother, more comfortable movement over time. Another key nutrient found in chickpeas is magnesium. Magnesium plays a crucial role in relaxing muscles, supporting bone health, and calming the nervous system. For individuals with arthritis, magnesium helps relieve muscle tension around the joints, reducing discomfort and improving flexibility. It also supports bone health, which is vital for providing stability to the skeletal system. Strong bones can relieve some of the pressure from affected joints, promoting better function and less pain. Furthermore, chickpeas are high in fiber, which is essential for managing inflammation. Consuming foods with a high glycemic index, such as processed foods, can cause spikes in blood sugar, which in turn triggers the release of inflammatory chemicals in the body. Fiber slows down the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream, helping to stabilize blood sugar levels and prevent these inflammatory spikes. By eating fiber-rich foods like chickpeas, you can protect your joints from the harmful effects of high blood sugar and reduce inflammation naturally. Chickpeas are incredibly versatile and easy to incorporate into your meals. Whether you're making hummus, adding them to a salad, or tossing them into soups, stews, or curries, chickpeas provide texture, flavor, and a nutritional boost. They can also be roasted with a little olive oil and seasoning for a crunchy snack or blended into a veggie burger patty. The mild flavor of chickpeas allows them to take on any seasoning you choose, making them an excellent addition to a wide variety of dishes. For those who enjoy baking, chickpeas can be used in gluten-free recipes. Chickpea flour is a fantastic substitute for wheat flour and works well in pancakes, breads, and even cookies. You can blend whole chickpeas into batter for brownies or use them to create protein-packed dishes that are both satisfying and nutritious. Chickpeas are also an excellent source of fiber, helping to keep you feeling full longer and reducing the need for unhealthy snacks. One of the best things about chickpeas is their affordability and accessibility. Whether you buy dried chickpeas in bulk or grab a few cans at the store, they're a budget-friendly option that provides exceptional nutritional value. If you choose canned chickpeas, just make sure to rinse them thoroughly to remove excess sodium. Dried chickpeas are easy to cook and can save you money in the long run, making them a great pantry staple for anyone looking to add more plant-based protein to their diet. By incorporating chickpeas into your meals a few times a week, you'll start to notice the positive effects on your joints. With consistent use, you may find that your joint pain decreases, your stiffness reduces, and your energy levels improve. Chickpeas offer a natural, cost-effective way to manage arthritis symptoms without relying on expensive medications or treatments. The next time you're at the store, pick up a can or bag of chickpeas and try adding them to your meals. Their anti-inflammatory properties and muscle-supporting nutrients can make a big difference in how you feel, naturally and without the need for pills. Number 3. Tofu, a plant-based protein that supports joint health. Arthritis can often feel overwhelming, with pain and stiffness making everyday tasks more difficult. Many people seek medications or expensive treatments to alleviate their symptoms, but sometimes the best solutions come from nature itself. One such solution is tofu, a simple and versatile plant-based food that can play a powerful role in managing arthritis pain and reducing inflammation. While tofu might not be the first food that comes to mind when you think of joint health, it has numerous benefits that can help soothe the discomfort associated with arthritis. Tofu is made from soybeans, which are one of the few plant-based foods that offer a complete protein source, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids your body needs. Protein is crucial for building and repairing tissues, including muscles, which help support your joints. Healthy muscles reduce the strain on your joints, making movement easier and less painful. Unlike animal-based protein sources, which can sometimes contribute to inflammation, tofu provides a plant-based alternative that supports joint health without triggering additional inflammation. One of the standout benefits of tofu is its high content of omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats are well known for their role in heart health, but they're also essential for joint health. Omega-3s help reduce the production of inflammatory chemicals in the body, leading to less stiffness, swelling, and pain in the joints. While omega-3s are commonly found in fish, tofu is one of the few plant-based sources of this important nutrient, making it a perfect choice for those following a vegetarian or plant-based diet. In addition to omega-3s, tofu is a great source of calcium, which is essential for maintaining strong bones. For people with arthritis, especially osteoarthritis, it's not just the joints that need attention. The bones play a critical role too. When bones are strong, the entire skeletal system is more stable, which helps reduce the pressure on your joints. Many brands of tofu are fortified with vitamin D, which works together with calcium to strengthen bones and improve calcium absorption. This vitamin also helps regulate inflammation in the body, making it even more beneficial for managing arthritis symptoms. For individuals with vitamin D deficiency, which is common, especially in older adults, tofu provides an easy and affordable way to boost your intake of this important nutrient. Tofu also contains isoflavones, natural plant compounds found in soy that have been shown to help reduce inflammation and improve joint flexibility. Some studies suggest that individuals who regularly consume soy products like tofu report better joint function and less stiffness, particularly in cases of rheumatoid arthritis. These isoflavones mimic estrogen in the body, which can help reduce inflammation without affecting your hormone balance. This makes tofu a powerful addition to any arthritis-friendly diet. The beauty of tofu lies in its versatility. While it might seem bland on its own, tofu absorbs the flavors of whatever it's cooked with, making it an ideal base for a variety of dishes. You can stir-fry tofu with garlic, ginger, soy sauce, and other spices for a flavorful, satisfying meal. It can also be baked, grilled, or pan-seared to create a crispy texture. For those who prefer something smoother, silken tofu is perfect for blending into soups, smoothies, or even dairy-free desserts. You can add tofu to curries, grain bowls, salads, or wraps, and it works well in place of cream in certain recipes, offering a healthier alternative that's lower in fat. Tofu is also incredibly affordable and easy to find. You don't have to shop at specialty health food stores to get your hands on it. Most grocery stores carry a variety of tofu, from silken to extra firm. It's a budget-friendly option that provides a wealth of nutrients to support joint health and overall wellness. Tofu is shelf-stable when unopened, which makes it convenient to store and use whenever you need it. Adding tofu to your diet doesn't require drastic changes. Start by incorporating it into your meals a couple of times a week, and over time, you'll notice the benefits. Less joint pain, reduced stiffness, and a greater sense of overall well-being can be achieved with consistent use of this simple, plant-based protein. So next time you're at the store, pick up some tofu and experiment with new recipes. Whether you're new to plant-based eating or a seasoned tofu enthusiast, it's a simple, affordable, and effective way to support your joint health and manage arthritis naturally. Tofu may be modest in appearance, but it holds immense potential for helping you feel better, move with ease, and live your life more comfortably. You're providing your body with all the essential nutrients it needs, from plant-based protein to calcium and omega-3s, while keeping your budget, digestive system, and joints in mind. At the end of the day, arthritis can feel overwhelming. The constant pain, the stiffness that slows you down, and the frustration of being unable to do things you once loved. But here's something that many don't tell you. The answer may not lie in expensive medications or complicated treatments. It could be as simple as making a few small changes to your diet. It's not about achieving perfection, but about making progress, one step at a time. The secret to easing arthritis pain lies in choosing foods that not only nourish your body, but also reduce inflammation, protect your joints, and bring you back to a place of control. Tofu, often overlooked, could be the missing piece in your journey. It's versatile, affordable, and packed with the nutrients your body needs to reduce inflammation, strengthen bones, and support muscles. But here's the twist. The best solution may not always be a pill or supplement. Sometimes it's just something as simple and effective as the food you eat. Tofu, often thought of as just a protein replacement, is a natural powerhouse for easing arthritis symptoms and promoting overall well-being. So let's wrap this up. If you're struggling with arthritis, remember these 3 plant-based proteins: lentils, chickpeas, and tofu. They're rich in nutrients that help fight inflammation and protect your joints in the most natural way possible. And you don't need to spend a fortune on supplements or follow a complicated diet. These everyday foods work with your body to improve joint health. Start by adding one of these powerful proteins to your meals this week. Small dietary changes can lead to noticeable improvements in how your joints feel. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. It helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to stay updated on future videos. I'd love to hear from you, so drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.